In a world where pop culture reigns supreme, with too many podcasts and unsolicited opinions, two friends brave the storm to give you just that. Room 303 presents Revenge of the Pod. With your hosts, the Mexican meat connoisseur Jason Escudero, the Puerto Rican nerd aficionado Luigi Orozco. On with the show.
Welcome!
Y saludos, amigos!
A nuestra presentación, Revenge of the Pod. I'm your host, Luigi, as they mentioned. This is my co-host.
Jason, what's up, everybody? Glad to have you back. And I do apologize. It's been a while. So, but glad to be here.
Yeah, apologies for that, guys. It became a much busier time of the year for us than we expected. So we're glad to be back. Glad to have you guys watching us again. We're going to give you guys a bit of a quarterly episode so we can kind of catch up on some of the things that we have seen in the past few months. Jason, though, how you been, man? What's going on? What's new with you, man?
Oh, been pretty good, man. So we pretty much, I know you started your summer, so you're back in school. That's cool. As far as I go, I welcomed into a new nephew. His name is Josh. Dude was a whopping like 8 pounds, I think. I can't remember. It was like last month, so I was excited for that. I'll get to meet him this coming end of month. I'm excited for that. I'm going to a quince. I haven't been to a quince in a while. I'm ready to get my dance on, my drink on, bro. I'm so excited. One thing that I do want to bring up that I've been up to, I've been going to some concerts. I got to see Sir, one of my favorite R&B artists, but one that was actually really excited about. And I decided to go last minute, and because I had gotten tickets, but I was very tired that day and almost didn't go because it was very far. But I am so glad that I went. I went by myself too. I do recommend going to concerts by yourself. Those are pretty fun too. I got to see Creed, dude. I saw Creed. With arms wide open. Dude, I was.
You beat me to it.
Dude, it was.
Were you under the sunlight, though? Were you under the sunlight?
Under the sunlight, dude. I sang along to every. Oh, dude, it was crazy. There's one part. I think we were singing "My Sacrifice," but like he asked the crowd to sing, and dude, like everybody was just singing, dude. It was just a bunch of older millennials jamming out to some Creed, dude. It was awesome, bro. Like there were some people next to me that I was talking to, very nice people. It was hot as fuck too. It was like over 107 that day. It was in an amphitheater, so. But dude, it was so fun, dude. I definitely, I didn't know the Creed was on my bucket list until like I saw them. You know what I mean? Definitely, nostalgia hit so hard that day. It was amazing, man. And his voice is still on point, dude. Like he sounds like the songs. Like sometimes you'll see some artists and you're like, oh, they don't sound like the songs that they did in the studio, right? The recording, but he sounded exactly. Like he did back in the day. So it was amazing, man. What about you? What you been up to?
I mean, going all the way back to June, I did summer school, and then in July, I officially got married.
That's right. Congratulations. I forgot about that. We haven't talked about that. I got to see you. We went to Austin for your bachelor party.
That's right.
That was awesome, man. I enjoyed that.
We went to Austin. We saw a comedy show. Definitely had quite a few juices. Lots of juice. Anyway, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. The wedding was awesome. I had a great time. It was very small, and that's kind of how we wanted it to be. So it worked out. I've been back at school, and it has been a grind, my friend. It has been a grind. But, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to talk about something that is a little more on the hobby side than it is on the work side.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel like we both needed this, right? So, uh, well, yeah, that's great. Again, congratulations, man. I totally forgot about that. It's just been a busy summer for us as well. So, I was so happy to see you. I hope to see you again real soon and not wait like almost 4 years before we saw each other.
I
Well, we
gotta,
saw each other twice, right? Yeah, this year.
yeah, because I went to Phoenix. You got to give me an opportunity to make you that brisket, man. You got to give me an
I
opportunity.
Jamie and I definitely want to come visit. So she wants to, meet you and stuff. So and maybe make an awesome trip. Hopefully see Kyle and stuff. That'd be good to see some friends out there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Uh, that's another thing. Football has started. So get your fantasy teams ready, guys. I know you guys have all done your drafts. I know we did. So we're definitely ready for the football season. Game 1 down. I was happy with game 1. Am I super excited? I'm not gonna get too excited, but I am happy with the outcome. So
I mean, y'all looked good. You paid your players, which is a great thing. And Browns were supposed to be really good, so it was a good win for the Cowboys, man. Now on my side, as I mean, we'll see, man. Yeah, I hope if the Broncos keep doing bad, I'm hoping for maybe like a high pick next year. So, I mean, we'll see. It's a work in progress. He's still a rookie, so we'll see what Bo Nix can do. But I'm excited. Fantasy football. I beat you week 1, so I'm excited for that. So
I had some I had some stinkers in week 1 in 2 of my teams, but I was glad to win in my dynasty league. So
yeah, a lot of money on the line on that one. So
that's the one that I'm like. By the way, Ryan, 189 points, or I think it was 180, somewhere around there. Crazy.
He can't win again this year, dude. If he does, I'm gonna be so very upset. Anybody but Ryan. I don't want him to repeat. So
I mean, none of the trades that he's offered me have been like super exciting to me. So
yeah, he still keeps making trades somehow. Interesting.
yeah, I don't know who he's getting these trades done with, but hey, it is what it is.
I mean, good for him.
Let's get into it though, man.
Yeah.
We've got our popcorn, we've got our snacks. Let's go check out some of the trailers. I've got one that is coming out this Friday.
And that is
Speak No Evil, starring James McAvoy. It is also starring, gosh, I don't remember her name, but she came out in Station 11. She was the main actress. She plays the wife in this in this film. It looks to be a thriller in which one family starts befriending another. Mackenzie Davis. Mackenzie Davis is her name. So one family starts befriending another as they go out to the woods. I don't know if they're on a vacation or if they started living there. It looks more like a vacation.
okay.
But the family that lives there starts acting very strangely and aggressive and stalkerish, specifically James McAvoy's character, the husband, who crosses a lot of different lines. And it turns into, I mean, from the preview, it turns into like a hostage situation where they are trying to escape the family. And I definitely want to see where that goes. James McAvoy plays a great psychopath. If you've seen Split, you know he can do it. So I'm definitely excited to watch that one this Friday, September 13th.
You're going to go see it this Friday?
I want to. I had plans of doing that with some friends of ours. Shout out to Yeliani Rafael. See if Gabby is interested in going maybe Saturday morning. We'll see. We'll see if she's up to it because we've got a baby shower on Friday evening.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Saturday morning, though, I don't know. That's not really the vibe for a horror, right? You got to watch it at night.
It's not, but when you don't have time, it's the vibe.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's the vibe when that's the only time.
Well,
you, Jay?
Well, before I do get into a trailer, I feel like we just have to. Obviously, we heard the news earlier this week. James Earl Jones passed away at 93. For those who don't know, that's the voice of Darth Vader, voice of Mufasa. He played the blind man in The Sandlot. So we definitely lost an iconic actor, man. That was I was very sad when I heard about that.
King Joffrey Joffer in coming to America.
Oh yeah, that too, man. Dude, some iconic roles, dude. Voice of Darth Vader, you know. So we lost a good one.
That one and Mufasa are the big ones, but
Yeah, dude. 93 though. So honestly, not I don't hope to live that long, to be honest. But 93, it's a long life right there.
I know he lived a good one. He's definitely going to be remembered.
Oh, for sure, man.
Rest in peace, James Earl Jones, man.
Now, I do have one. It's not really a trailer. It was just a teaser. We had D23 came out earlier this year, but I was excited for this one. We got like a little teaser of Lilo and Stitch, and like Stitch just coming out into the screen and like a CGI version of him. So we were kind of wondering like how they were going to do it. And it looks good,
At least Stitch does, right?
At least Stitch does, yeah. So I think we're happy with that because obviously we saw what happened with Sonic, right, where they tried making it a little bit different and everyone was pissed, the internet, and they had to change the whole thing. So I think Disney was like, yeah, we can't mess this up, so we got to make sure the CGI is right for Stitch. So I'm excited for that, man. Do you remember what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry, do you remember in the early 2000s when they were like promoting Lilo and Stitch?
No.
Like what they did for the marketing?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, go back. And the marketing for Lilo and Stitch when the movie was first coming out, the animated version, back in the early 2000s, there was like commercials like for the marketing, like it'd be Disney movies, like for example, Jasmine and Aladdin doing the
he breaks in
the carpet, right? And he's like asking for directions, right? And he's like hitting up Jasmine's like, hey, what's up, girl? Dude, like there was like so many, like he was just breaking into other movies and like we're like, what's this movie gonna be about? Like what? Like this is crazy. But dude, that marketing for that during that time was amazing. I do recommend to the people that are a little bit younger, YouTube Lilo and Stitch marketing commercials during the early 2000s, and trust me, you will not regret it. Dude, it was awesome. So I'm excited for this. I kind of wish they brought that back, like with this version. Maybe they do. I don't know. It'd be really cool. It'd be really
action versions, they could do it. They could do it.
It'd be really fun
to do it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, man. Memory unlocked. Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah, dude, definitely. I followed like this, like I don't know what. I don't think I follow them, but I like on my Instagram, I get like nostalgia videos every once in a while. I'm like, whoa, I totally forgot about that. But it's always cool to see.
Yeah. I personally thought that Stitch looks good. They were talking about fan casting a lot. Well, there was a lot of fan casting happening, and a lot of people were like, they better get the sister right. Because a lot of people loved the sister. I didn't realize.
Oh, I mean, come on now.
I know. Well, I rewatched it, and my wife was like, "Yeah, people are talking about the sister. They're like, she's got to be the one." And I was
it's one thing. Disney knows how to make moms and very appealing to the eye for kids when you're growing up. You're like, oh, I like women.
I like these women right here. Cartoons, but something tells me.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I definitely we rewatched it because I was like, yeah, Lilo and Stitch is all right. Like I wasn't super into it when I was growing up. Rewatching it, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good movie. It's pretty solid. I like it. I like it more
loved
than
it.
I did before.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so those are two big ones that we're looking at right now. Definitely excited for Lilo and Stitch. Let's get into some of the better things that we've seen so far this summer. Summer blockbusters have been pretty solid this year, I would say. Would you agree, Jason?
Dude, I agree. Like, I really like the movies that I've been able to see this summer. Definitely was very surprised with quite a bit of these movies, honestly. My favorite so far was Twisters. Man, I think I liked it better than the first one.
Really?
Yeah. Or it was just as good. I don't know. It was just very corny. Some of the acting was just like, this is bad. But
here's the thing: like it took us back to a type of movie that we haven't seen in a really long time.
Yeah,
and that's what made it so good because they used a lot of effects and a lot of the way they make movies nowadays, and threw that in with some very endearing actors and characters. Yes, some of the acting wasn't great. I love Anthony Ramos, but some of his deliveries in this one weren't as believable. I think it could have very well been some of the writing, because I've seen him. I mean, I saw him in Hamilton. I've seen him in other things, and I liked him a lot more in the Heights than I did in this. I think he may have had trouble connecting with his own character. But overall, the movie was a blast. I thought the music was great. I'm not a big country guy. Starting to get into it. The movie helped a little bit. So I would say that the twisters themselves, too, I know you're going to agree with me, Jason. They had a lot more action, and I felt like they were a lot more prominent in this film than they were in the original. In the original, you don't see as much action. Also, like, start of the movie, 6 deaths, or what? I think maybe 4 deaths.
Yeah,
right from the start. Yeah. And that was shocking. I was like, oh my God, this is what a tornado should feel like. I was holding on to my seat while I was watching some of those scenes. I was like, this is bringing anxiety to me right now, and I'm just watching a movie. So it was definitely doing its job.
You know what would have been cool? I saw it on IMAX. It was amazing. But what was really funny about Twisters coming out was you had an opportunity to see 4D Twisters. And there were some TikToks out there that were absolutely yeah. Well, yeah, 4D, you get like you can get wet. I
don't know.
Yeah. There's one that Jamie and I saw on TikTok was hilarious. Like, I was like, oh, are you gonna go see Twisters on 4D? He's like, how wet are you think we'll get? And then the person responds like, well, it depends on like how attracted you are to Glenn Powell, I guess. Oh, dude, that's a sexy man right there, dude. I understand why Erica fucking loves him so much. Like, I get it now. I get it.
I think he's a cool dude. I like him as an actor. I think he's definitely a typical Hollywood actor, but I like him. He's got the great personality for it. So I'm like,
yeah, he's got the face. Now, you mentioned country. There's actually this one song that I've been listening to this country artist because he released an album. So I recommend you guys check him out. His name is Thomas Rhett. But that song "Feeling Country" that's from Twister soundtrack. I think that's the song that you're talking about. That's a
like the one from Tyler Childers on the soundtrack. It was really
good. Yeah, okay, yeah, dude, they're all great soundtrack, great storyline. Like, it's very similar to the first one, but like different. Yeah, dude. Overall, man, I just had a blast, dude. I had a blast the whole time watching this movie. Honestly, it might be my favorite movie this year so far, and I know Dune 2 came out. So I don't know.
I don't know if we can count Dune 2 as a summer movie though, right? So that was a little more of a spring film, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that came out it still came out 2024, but I'm like, when we're gonna review top 10 movies of 2024,
gonna beat out.
I might put Twisters as my number 1, honestly. And it's not. I'm not saying it's a better film, right? But I'm just saying like how much fun I had personally. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Dune 2 is going to be a hard one to beat. I think the length of Dune 2 is going to be its downfall a little bit when we get to those lists. Dune 2 is a great film, but I mean, we just live in a time where, close to a 3-hour movie is not what everybody's looking for.
Not what we need. Yeah. But I mean, that one had a lot of action compared to Dune 1. It was really good.
I loved the movie. I'm just saying, for those lists, the high octane films are going to be the ones that like crisp, clean, straight to the point. Yeah, that's going to be what trumps a little bit. For me, so far of the summer, I don't see anything taken out Inside Out 2, man. That movie, probably a perfectly made film.
Forgot about that one.
I had to hold back tears on that one. I was just like, "You're a man, don't do it."
Oh no, I cried.
Yeah, no, I mean, the whole point of the movie is to be in touch with your emotions, right? So I'm probably doing the wrong thing here. But that is
anxiety like perfectly too, man. It's crazy because I deal with anxiety. I'm sure we all do. Well, a lot of us do, but depicted very well. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think what resonates about about Inside Out 2 so much is that the way that it built on the first one really like caters to kids growing up and trying to understand these emotions, especially at the age of puberty, but also adults who never really got the conversation about that. Like a lot of us millennials had to learn about anxiety on our own and had to figure it out, and some of us are still figuring it out.
Yeah, especially in our type of culture, the Hispanic culture. It's
Yeah,
like
you don't
deal
feel
with it.
that.
Yeah, it's like what depression? What is that? And like suck it up.
Yeah, you're fine. You'll be all right. Get over it.
Sana curita de rana, way.
See, no se me voy. Anyway, yeah, it felt very much the way anxiety feels, and it also, I mean, the biggest one for me, and I've told people this, everyone I've talked to about this movie, is the one scene that honestly got me the most the first time around. The second time I watched it, it was the anxiety attack. But the first time around was when Joy comes to the realization that when you get older, you feel less joy. And that was just such a painful realization because it's a part of growing up, right? Like you have more things to worry about. You have more things to do. You've experienced more things that aren't pleasant, and you can have less joy. You have more of a complex life, and your understanding of yourself and the world changes, right? And it's great to see how they were able to illustrate that and her sense of self. And they were able to do it with so much humor. They did so much of this in a way that people were able to connect and not just be depressed the whole time about it. I thought it was just one of the best films I've seen. One of the best films I've seen this year for sure.
Yeah, man, you almost made me cry there right now for a second. Holy shit. And I was like, yeah, no, you're definitely right, man. Such a great movie. I know we talked about it in a previous episode, but I mean, if we're talking about summer movies, that's definitely what I totally forgot about that movie. But
that was the last one. No. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I think I guess another movie that we saw. Do you want to get into it?
Well, I want to mention Quiet Place Day One. Definitely had some high points. Not one of, I don't know if I could put it in the best, but it deserves a mention. I want to give it a second shot because there were a lot of really good things. The actors in it were really appealing, but the problem was that in the originals, you were assisted by sign language and subtitles. In this movie, you were trying to read lips. And I was I want to give it a second chance because I was at a drive-in. It wasn't the quietest place. Right? Drive-in movies, you get a little more sound from the outside, people walking around, gravel moving. That I'm like, okay, maybe that's why I didn't hear enough. Maybe that's what took away from the experience a little bit. Because from what I saw, there were a lot of really great, tense thriller scenes, a lot of tender moments between characters. And I felt like I was missing some of it, but also I was like, if this is really how quiet the movie is, yes, it's the point of the movie, but you're also missing the fact that your audience needs to be able to understand what's going on. So that's the big downer for me on Quiet Place Day One.
Yeah, I didn't bother. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't bother watching it just because I saw Quiet Place, the first one, and I honestly I wasn't a fan, so I haven't seen the second one, and I haven't seen this one.
That hurts me to hear.
I know, I'm sorry.
I felt that in my soul a little bit, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I'm in the minority in this one too. So,
well, I mean, I think that film is not for everybody, so that's fair. I did want to mention, have we talked about Fall Guy, right?
We did. We finished the whole thing. Yeah. I'm not sure we talked about House of Dragon, how it ended. I think we did as well, right?
Let's hold off on House of Dragon a bit. I don't know if we've talked on that one, but let's hit some of those summer movies first. Jason, right, you want to talk about our friend, the one, the only Merc with a Mouth?
Deadpool and Wolverine. That was another fun movie, man. I was very surprised. I know a lot of us were worried about, having it be Disney now and part of Marvel. There was a lot of back and forth with Ryan Reynolds and Disney. and like he's like, no, like this is my vision. We can't let this happen. This is how I envision it, and we're not gonna make this if we can't like do it like this, right? And dude, he went at Disney as well in that movie, which was awesome to see. We're like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? And he did, dude. Oh, it was so fun. The opening scene with the NSYNC, bye bye bye. That shit was awesome. Yeah, man, I had so much fun watching this movie, and the cameos. I was not expecting some of the cameos, which was crazy. I know we can talk about it now since this movie's been out for a while, but one that like really put a smile on my face was the first cameo that we saw, which was Chris Evans. All of us thinking that I was like, oh, Captain America, that's so sick. And Ryan's like, oh, he's gonna say is like Avengers Assemble. And no, he says flame on, which was awesome, dude. It was just an awesome callback to, all the Fox Century movies, when, dude, to the Fantastic Four. That was hilarious, dude. I was laughing. I looked at Jamie. She's like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, oh, like, that's like a callback to like the Fantastic Four when he was Johnny, right? So I love that. Gambit, I got to see, Channing Tatum. He was trying to make a Gambit film, right? It never got greenlit, so it's kind of nice that he was able to portray that character, and I thought he did an amazing job. And just making fun of like that accent that he has. I mean, Gambit's my favorite X-Men, so it was cool to see.
Gambit's the best, man. That's my favorite too. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then Blade, dude, the original, he saved Marvel. If you think about it, like if you could do the research, those Blade movies saved Marvel because they were going out of business. Like as far as like the movie industry went, and like it helped revive it. And obviously they had to sell off Spider-Man to Sony and all this, and selling off X-Men to Fox, all that stuff. So it was just kind of nice to see, like, just like paying homage to that, seeing Elektra. That was so cool. And just a lot of the villain characters that we like grew up on, us as fans, it's just like a good, like a head nod to us. Right. So it was awesome, man. What about your thoughts? What do you
I just want to build on some of the stuff you mentioned. Definitely, I thought that the addition of Channing Tatum, I mean, trying to make a movie for what, close to 15 years?
Yeah, dude.
Getting shot down all the time, and getting to see him in the original X-Men like 92 outfit, that was great. And you see him in interviews, and he was just glowing about it. He even mentioned, he's like, I'd love to keep playing the character, but if that's the only time I get to do it, at least I got to. And he said it was all because of Ryan Reynolds. Like, Ryan Reynolds made most of these things happen. He personally called him. He personally called Wesley Snipes, which means he personally called Jennifer Garner and all of the others who came in. I mean, it's a deleted scene, but his co-owner of Wrexham, the guy from, gosh, I forget his name, from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he came out in one of the scenes as a TVA. Oh, really? Yeah, it's going to be a deleted scene, I assume, but it was a cut scene. Lady Deadpool was his wife, Blake Lively. So there were a lot of, and one of his players was an extra at the bar that they were in as well. So like all of these little cameos that you see they're just sprinkled in there, and you just enjoy it so much. The movie is laughs from start to finish. He definitely tiptoed a little bit for Disney, right? Because the original Deadpool movies have a little bit more nudity and sexual, like they show sexual things in the films, especially the first one, in which this one they made references, but they shied away from that, and they stuck to the violence and the obviously cussing, right? So I think they were able to work with Disney pretty well, and I know that Disney sees the money on this one, and they're like, all right, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you gonna make us money. Cool. You keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing.
Yeah, it broke like $1 billion, like super fast. So they're like, all right, that was like their, well, besides Inside Out 2, they're hitting with their Disney movies right now. So they're like, money. All right, let's do it. Let's do another Deadpool. I feel like there might be another one coming.
And to build on what you said as well for the Fox thing, you could very much tell that Ryan Reynolds was very grateful to Fox for having given him that opportunity, even for his role as Deadpool in Wolverine Origins. Like, in the credits they show all of the behind the scenes photos with the cast and all these all these behind the scenes just reels, right? And it shows like it was pretty much a thank you to what Fox did for X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Chris Evans as the Human Torch was hilarious. I thought it was a great way to do it. And Chris Evans had mentioned multiple times before this. It's funny, before the movie was ever made, he had mentioned multiple times that he wouldn't come back as Captain America unless it was a really good story. But the character he really wanted to redeem was Johnny Storm. And so for Ryan Reynolds to understand that and call up Chris and let him be this version of a character that gets to be bad-mouthed and just do whatever he wants with it, I know he truly enjoyed it. I think everyone on that set had a great time with it, and I really hope that we see another Deadpool movie, or at least another Deadpool appearance.
Yeah, man. What about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, dude? Dude was shredded.
Yeah,
way more shredded than he first was, dude. And like the comic book accurate costume, that was nice to see. Them making fun of like, hey, Wolverine should be short, and like, you know, like his actual size, and we got to see that, and they're like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
Henry Cavill, dude, as
Cavalrine, baby. I didn't know I wanted Henry Cavill as Wolverine until I saw Henry Cavill.
Well, they did. That's been like a fan favorite. Like it should be, but like also it can't work because like Henry Cavill's just too tall, bro. Like
I was about to say he's too big, but watching him, I was like, maybe it'll work.
Could be. We saw a glimpse of the Hulk, you know, Wolverine versus Hulk. So like that'd be interesting. That comic book series is pretty dope.
Yeah, I would love to see. Well, I mean, Wolverine and the Hulk have squared up so many times. It would be great to watch that in live action. And there's so many possibilities now that this movie's come out. I think someone who would look and is close, I mean, not super close, but a decently close size to Wolverine in the comics that looks like a normal sized person would be Taron Egerton, man. I am rooting for him to be Wolverine. Hopefully one day it works out.
Yeah, dude, who knows? Maybe Hugh Jackman even comes back for another Deadpool Wolverine. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I would love to see Hugh Jackman again too, but I guess we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the highlights of the summer, and just because of how enjoyable it was, it might make it into there's a good chance it's going to make it into my top films of the year.
Oh, for sure. Like easily for me as well.
Yeah. I mean, there have to be some great films that come out. Speaking of, if you don't mind segueing, there is a film that came out very recently that is definitely going to make it into my top films of the year.
Yeah, no, that's a good segue, and we're getting into the spooky season, so it's perfect timing, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Oh, absolutely, Beetle Juice, baby.
Oh, all right. Don't say it one more time, bro. Sure.
Oh man,
three times.
The fact that in interviews, Michael Keaton had mentioned multiple times that he and Tim Burton had both agreed on the fact that Beetlejuice should still be a complete jerk. And they made him that way. They made him like not PC. They made him who he is.
Dude,
it was so enjoyable. Every second watching him was just like, it was hard not to have your eyes on him.
So before you get into the movie, I rewatched the first one, like the night before, because I want. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and dude, he's very inappropriate. Like he would definitely get some sexual harassment lawsuits against him if he was in real life. Like back in the 90s, and during that time when it came out, it was like very, very inappropriate. So it was kind of nice to see that he still kind of kept to that.
He's like, come on! And he's in the little town, dude. That movie, I watch it every year for Halloween, and sometimes we'll just watch it randomly because everyone in my family likes it. I watched it as a kid because my mom likes that movie. Like we're fans. We're fans, and there's so many quotable lines in that film. What is it? I think he's talking about The Exorcist, where he's like, I've seen it so many times, and he's like, and it gets funnier every single time I see it. Oh my God, dude. Like just his delivery his delivery, and it continues in the second one. He's just as clever. He's just as much of a fool in the second one. I do have one gripe.
What is that?
One gripe about Beetlejuice 2. It was a little overstuffed, and you could feel it at one point in the movie, right at the start of the third act, where they're wrapping up all the stories, and some of them get wrapped up extremely quickly.
Oh yeah.
I thought, God, what's her name? Bellucci. What's her name?
Catherine O'Hara.
No, not Catherine O'Hara.
Ortega.
No, his ex-wife.
Oh, the soul sucker.
Yeah, yeah. Monica Bellucci? No.
I have no idea, honestly. But yeah, I feel like they just killed her off, like with the worms. Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, they didn't even give her any character development. They didn't really do anything. Monica Bellucci. They didn't really do anything with her, and she's just a bit of a plot device. I'm like, the amount of times you showed her in the film to turn her just into a plot device was kind of disappointing. And I thought they played out the storyline with Jenna Ortega's love interest turned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, spoilers, guys. Spoilers. Since the movie did just come out.
Yeah.
Love interest turned bad guy. They played that one out a lot better. Even though they did give him a quick exit, the way they did his was perfect, with Beetlejuice being the guy behind the wheel. On the other hand,
did you see that coming? I feel like we saw that coming, right?
Yeah, I figured something was going to happen with that. I wasn't completely sure that it was going to be Beetlejuice, but I figured someone on the other side of that window was going to make it stop, and Beetlejuice was going to make it stop.
No, knowing that he was, knowing that he was dead is what I mean. When we got introduced to the character, right? They go into the house, and like we see his parents, but we don't see their full face, and I was like, they're dead. Like I knew it instantly. I was like, they're dead. Watch it. I told Jamie that, and I don't know if she got pissed because she says, well, obviously she hates when I do that. But then,
what's funny is I noticed that they didn't show their face, and I was like, that's strange. Why did they do that? But I didn't think about it too much. I was just like, all right, let's move on.
Yeah, like I went to Jamie. I was like, they're dead. And then when it happened, I was like, I knew it. I was like, I told you.
She must.
That storyline was cool, man. I really, overall, like it went really quick. Like by the end of it, I was like, oh, that's it. Like that went by super fast. So I think you're right about like the plot, like especially for the villain. It did go by a little fast. Maybe they could have made the movie a little bit longer, but I don't know. Some of my favorite characters were Bob, of course. Bob was dope. Catherine O'Hara's character, the stepmom, she was hilarious.
As she's the same person she was in the original. And it's funny because you can tell that her character, I mean, don't get me wrong, she was already like that in the original, but she was definitely influenced also by her character in oh my god.
Schitt's Creek.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Gabby would be mad at me if she knew that I didn't remember that. But yes, Schitt's Creek. Because it's the same kind of character, and it works for her. It works.
Yeah, dude. Like she plays it. She plays it awesomely. And like the way she dies too. Like it's just hilarious.
Oh man, and I honestly, in the original, the use of Harry Belafonte is iconic, right? Deo and Jump in the Line. Like using those two songs at the right moments, it's just like you think of Beetlejuice now when you hear that song. I put it on my Halloween playlists now because people relate it to Beetlejuice. In the second movie, there are a couple of songs that they're probably not going to have the same effect in that sense, except for the last one, the wedding one. But even the one where he's sitting with the guitar and he's in the town.
Oh yeah.
It's just perfect. It's perfect. They definitely used more music that was iconic as well. I'm glad that they still used songs in the film because I thought that was one of the best parts of the original. So I've got nothing but praise for this movie. I know that it's on Rotten Tomatoes it's at a 78, which is maybe 4 points below the original.
That's crazy.
Yeah, very close, very close. But I honestly, I'm gonna throw my bias my full bias into this movie and give it like a 9. So
So I'm gonna have to agree with you on there, because I do honestly like. I think no, yeah, I said it after I watched it. I like this. I like Beetlejuice more than the first one. So
that's right.
I
You did mention that off pod. Yeah.
I did. I just enjoyed it a lot more, dude. Like it was fun. Although, yeah, like you said, like some of the plots, like they wrapped it up really fast. But the whole time, I had a fun time watching it. Um, there's times in the first Beetlejuice where it's a little bit slow for me. So I think the whole time for Beetlejuice, it was just fun the whole time.
Yeah, and you could tell everyone had a good time making it.
Yeah. Also, I didn't
thought
realize.
General.
Oh, go ahead.
Good.
Oh, I didn't realize. So, like, you know why we don't see the father, and like why they show him like bitten off by the shark? He had some allegations, unfortunately.
He's a pedophile. He's a pedophile.
Yeah.
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 So,
So I was like,
yeah,
oh,
I found this out, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. But the way they were able to include him in the movie, even with that whole claymation scene, genius. Like, I honestly, I love that they used that. I love that they used claymation. I love that they had him half bodied. I thought it was so clever.
yeah, no, I thought that was perfect too. It's like, yeah, so like obviously you guys, what happened to that character, right? So they, and I like how they explained what happened to Barb and the husband. They found a loophole and were able to, go into the afterlife. So that I thought that was cool how they explained that, because obviously we're like, what happened to them? So they're dead. So why aren't we seeing them? So I thought that was cool.
I thought the dynamic with Jenna Ortega and Winona Ryder actually worked really well. They worked well on screen together. It was wild to me. I was like, dang, they play really well as mother and daughter, both antagonizing each other and as a team. It still shocks me, like with Jenna Ortega's age, how she can still play a teenager. Like you see it, you're like, okay, yeah, you could pass for a teenager, but it still shocks me. I'm like, man, you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
You're in teens.
I mean, when I was in my early 20s, I looked like I was still like 19, 18. Like, dude,
that's true.
It wasn't until like last year that like I barely get like my ID checked anymore. Also, probably has to do with the white hairs that I have, but I think it's that Hispanic thing. It's that Hispanic blood,
Could be. But yeah, I thought their dynamic was really good. I thought Justin Theroux was actually a very good antagonist as well. Like you find out that and you can tell throughout the film that he's using her for her money. But the fact that they use him as an antagonist, as well as like Beetlejuice is the guy pulling the strings. At the end of the day, he's the main antagonist, which
right.
I love. But I like that they used him as well, which is why I was like, why do we need Monica Bellucci then? Like, what was the point of her? She didn't need to be there pretty much at all. There was no purpose for her. I liked watching her. I thought she looked cool, but there was no point. One character that was also not really needed, but I had a great time watching, was somebody who just kept it real. And that was Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, dude, that was hilarious. His character, like his whole thing, like he's like, I'm not an actual cop. I'm I'm an actor.
You keep me real. Oh, dude, it cracked me up.
Yeah, nice little cameos too with Danny DeVito as well. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Danny DeVito's cameo was awesome. I really like that they went to the land of the dead, pretty much, or world of the dead. I don't know what it's called. That side, the other side, a little bit more, so we could see kind of what it looks like and explore it a little bit, and how mundane it kind of looks in its own weird way. So that was fun to see. And I thought the fact that they didn't use that much CGI and they used practical effects really made the movie look cool. It was it's much better than all the use of CGI that they have. I don't understand why they do so much of it.
Yeah, I think they need to go back to that. You know what I really liked? Yeah, in going on top of like going to the Land of the Dead, I think it's always fun to see like those side characters and like how they died, because you're like, oh, that's how he died, or he or she died. Like it's just always kind of interesting, like seeing like a bullet hole in their chest or whatever it was. That's always fun too, just to see.
Oh, absolutely. And the dad with the little piranhas.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, okay, that's how they died.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons more to say about Beetlejuice, but you guys got to go watch it. Definitely check it out. Again, I'm giving it a 9. I can't give it a perfect because of how convoluted it gets in the third act and the complete lack of necessity for Monica Bellucci's character, in my opinion. So that was really unnecessary. They did enough with Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega. Winona Ryder, Justin Theroux, and then of course Beetlejuice being the main villain. Like that was enough. In
Yeah,
fact, if you really think about it, Willem Dafoe wasn't really necessary either. But
exactly.
again, plot device.
They opened it up for maybe a possible third.
It was hard enough to get them to make a second one. If they make a third one, I will be shocked. I don't think they'll. I don't think they'll be willing to. I don't think Michael Keaton will be willing to. But you never know. I didn't think he would be willing to make a Beetlejuice too. So what do I know?
Fair enough. Yeah, overall, I'd give it like a 8.9. I don't know if I can give it a 9.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to go into my yearly Halloween movie collection.
Oh,
right
sure.
now, there's an offer for like a 27 by 36 Beetlejuice poster, like exclusive. There's only going to be 5,000 of them made, and I'm like this close to getting it. I'm like, I want that. I want.
Just do it. Just do it. Fuck it. Pull the trigger.
Do it. I might. Gabby might be mad at me, but then she'll be like, "Oh, it is cool." All right. You got anything else to add before we move on, Jay?
No, that's it, man. That's all I got, brother.
All right, we're gonna keep this one short and sweet for you guys. We'll come back to you guys with some of the shows that mostly Jason has been watching because I haven't watched that much this summer. I'll be honest with you guys, but we're gonna come back to you guys next week with another episode of Revenge of the Pod. Peace out, guys.